Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY La Selva Beach, Watsonville. The time is now 2:06. We've got traffic and weather for you. We will start off with traffic. Highway 17 in the southbound direction, a little under the limit. This is as you pass the Glenwood area. Same area that they were doing work on yesterday is just under the limit. Not too bad, though. Not a whole lot to worry about. Looks like we do have an accident also on the southbound side near Summit Road. Apparently, though, not affecting speeds for right now. Highway 101 northbound as you head towards the Prunedale area, just past Russell Road. Speeds stop and go. They will be back to the limit, though, near Vieira Canyon Road, near 156. Maybe even closer to Blackie Road. Speeds will pick up. Your weather forecast for this evening, or for this afternoon, we should start off with. Sunny. Highs should be around 72 degrees tonight, mostly clear. Lows will be around 50 degrees. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, sunny. Highs will be around 74 degrees. Your boaters forecast for tonight includes a small craft advisory throughout the evening. West winds, 15 to 25 knots, becoming northwest 5 to 15 knots after midnight. Wind waves 3 to 5 feet, and northwest swells 4 to 5 feet at 8 seconds. 72 degrees outside KSCO studios. The time now 2:07. Up next on your favorite radio station, it's hour 1 of the Dr. Future Show.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, KSCO presents the Dr. Future Show. If you would like to join in our show today, you can call us at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, your host, Dr. Future.
Hi, folks. Welcome to another beautiful day in Santa Cruz. It's just sunny and warm and nice, and
I went swimming this morning.
oh, that's right. I turned over in bed and my arm over to find Mrs. Future, and there was just a pillow. And yes, we discovered a new place to swim.
Oh, I'm so happy to start the day swimming. Swimming pools in the neighborhood. That's what I like. The public pool, the summer camps. There's actually several in the area. The San Lorenzo Valley swimming pool and the
Camp
Campbell swimming pool.
That's the best. That's the awesome one. Yeah. I know you don't want to say anything to get more people there, but
yeah, don't let the secret out.
It's funny, they call it the swimming hole, right? But it's way more than that. It's like one of the nicest pools I've ever been in. Mm-hmm. So,
right.
Yeah. Anyway, it does definitely add to your disposition, Mrs. Future. You definitely seem to be much more amenable to interesting topics today.
I like starting the day off in the water.
Yeah. Nice breakfast, too. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Glad you liked it. Nothing like fried eggs and manna bread.
It's been a big week for Mrs. Future because she was also on stage this week.
That's true.
Twice.
This is my second round of performances with a really wonderful group that's operating out of the Broadway Playhouse at the Art League. And, of course, that is such a great community resource. And Janet Cruteau and Lori Gurin have started this amazing writers group that does performances at the end of a writing workshop, I guess you'd call it.
It's kind of interesting because, I've always told stories in public. Of course, we're doing that right now on the air, basically. But the idea is that you prepare a story for a couple or several weeks in advance and, and rehearse it and memorize it and tell a really good story in front of the public.
Yeah, so it's kind of reminiscent of spotlight theater. It's personal storytelling. It's rehearsed. It's scripted. And, boy, it sure makes for a wonderful show. Mm-hmm. So we have some very talented people who are just disguised as ordinary citizens in the Santa Cruz community. Yeah. And when they all come up for a show like this, it's really a treat.
Yeah, I like the way you portrayed yourself as the rainbow sheep of the family. That was really cute. Her personal story was about her relationship with her family, her brothers, her sisters, specifically, and being the rainbow sheep. Mm-hmm. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Did you like the way I characterized you as my my Peter Pan.
Well, I have to think about that.
I mean, one of the things
Yeah.
about being a rainbow sheep is that your family thinks that you never grew up if you didn't have children. So,
Well, that is a common belief, isn't it?
right.
That
So,
how could you really know life?
yes, like, well, some people feel that they discover their purpose by having children, and some people feel that perhaps that is one avenue, but not the only one. So I'm
Well, I
in
see
the
you as
second
a
group.
eternal grandmother. You really love
Me
to.
too. I always tell people
Help
I
your friends.
started off old, and I'm just, I'm getting younger as I go forward. I'm more and more cheerful and less grumpy. And I find so much to celebrate. I just feel that life is so full of goodness and so full of opportunity, and I rejoice in seeing people discover their true strengths and how to give their gifts to this world. That's really satisfying for me.
Excellent. Well, certainly one of our gifts to the world is to share with you some stories we think matter, and we do this, obviously not for money, but for bringing this information to you because this is what we think is important.
Absolutely. That's why we're the futures. We're giving you our little spyglass view of what's ahead that we all should get ready for, because probably very few people are expecting it. It's so weird.
Some of it you want, yeah. I mean, and these are the things that we talk about are things that are actually happening in the world. Like this story about. Do we have time? Oh, I guess we got a couple minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, we got all the time we need.
Yeah. Good. There was a very, very interesting story this week on how drones, one of my favorite topics anyway,
Yes, you are a drone king for sure.
how they can save people.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a piece out of Sweden that NPR reported on, curiously enough, about how we know that we've talked about it often on the air here about how drones could be dropping off packages from FedEx and Amazon and that sort of thing. But researchers in Sweden have equipped the drones with automated external defibrillators, or AED devices.
And of course, those are the kinds of things that you see in a lot of medical dramas when everyone says, stand back, and then they give an electroshock to the to the patient to restart their heart.
And they're saying that using drones to carry AEDs to people who are in cardiac arrest reduces the time between when patients go into cardiac arrest and they receive the first shock from an AED. So the more time a person spends, in other words, the lower the chance of survival, the more the time a person spends in cardiac arrest. So shocking someone within 3 minutes gives them the best shot. 3 minutes. It's one of those
If for some reason their heart has stopped. Yeah, but it seems to me 3 minutes is barely enough time for something like that to be reported, much less
Well, that's the ideal.
responded to.
That's the ideal. I mean, it takes longer to do it than that.
I mean, you couldn't get a neighbor
for
there
a
in
drone.
3 minutes.
But they do say that it takes about 3 minutes for a drone to launch from the time a reported incident occurs. It takes about 3 minutes to launch a fully equipped drone.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes at least twice that time for an ambulance to be oriented in that direction.
Oh, that's interesting. So I guess there's that little bit of response time can be
Yes,
saved.
so this is where minutes matter.
Minutes matter.
And then
Yeah.
there are 350,000 cardiac arrests in the U.S. Every year,
Wow.
other than in hospitals.
Right. So some of those could actually be saved, whereas now maybe they're not receiving care soon enough. Hey, listen, we're going to go to our first break, and then we'll be back with more Dr. Future Show. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Alex of Boys and Girls Clubs of Santa Cruz County. Registration is now open for our Smarter Summer program. Open to youth ages 6 to 18, the summer program aims to reduce summer learning loss through fun and engaging classes and activities, including reading, technology, creative arts, music, athletics, field trips, and teen programs. All children are welcome, regardless of ability to pay. To register or provide financial support to local programs, visit boysandgirlsclub.info.
Hey, buddy, it's me, your laptop. That's right, your little modern marvel of technology you've been abusing for months. Dude, we need to talk. Do you really think that those free PC Fix-It programs are any match for today's spyware and malware? Not to mention the NSA and some of those websites you've been visiting. Now, I'm not here to judge, I'm just saying.
You need to take me to Peter and the friendly staff at User Friendly Computing to get me back into tip-top shape.
Tired of unfriendly computer support, slow computer, viruses, spyware? No problem. Call the friendly computer experts at User Friendly Computing. We take care of all your PC, Macintosh, and laptop needs. Mention KSCO and get a free $50 diagnostic. Visit us today at 505 River Street on the way to downtown Santa Cruz, across from Gateway Plaza. We give you a choice. Drop your computer by the shop, or we'll come to you. Call us today at 4...
Regarding your health. It's the type of care we can offer because we're more than just a hospital and medical group. We're part of this community. Visit DominicanHospital.org to find a doctor and start living healthy today. Healthcare that fits your Santa Cruz lifestyle. Dignity Health. Hello, human kindness.
Hey, welcome back to the Dr. Future Show. So all the stories we talk about are listed in our
Online webpage.
Online webpage.
drfutureshow.com/links.
Okay, you can go to just to drfutureshow.com and then click on the links page. That'll also get you there. So if you want to know more about these things, like this defibrillator thing, it's fascinating. And they've been teaching fourth graders in Sweden on how to use AEDs. They're good at it. Actually, it's one of those skill sets you can learn at a very, very young age and actually save lives. They were finding that maybe 1 in 10 people survived without them.
Wow.
And so it really makes a difference, especially if you're 70 years old or older. That seems to be the demographic for that. And the drones can get there. So we got a call, Mrs. Future?
We do. We have Jerry in Santa Cruz who wants to talk about cryptocurrency.
Oh, one of our favorite topics.
Definitely. Very interested. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to the show.
Jerry, how you doing?
Hi. Great.
What you got for us?
Well, I just recently started to get involved in the cryptocurrency trading and Bitcoin thing.
Yes.
And I was just wondering where you guys saw that going in the future.
Well, we have certainly been tracking it. I mean, there are over 100 cryptocurrencies that have come out in the last few years, and we've been tracking quite a few of them, and we've actually also been moving money around the world market to see what happens in different cryptocurrencies and to study it that way. And we're compiling information. We'll do a report on that soon. But yes, it's definitely a topic we've been exploring.
And I have a lot of thoughts on that.
Yes, she does.
Address that.
Indeed. Go ahead, Miss.
Now, in the past, when we've done shows on things like Bitcoin, I was in the school that Bitcoin itself was basically a commodity more than it was a currency because it's a speculator-driven market, and at the time, say a year or two ago, it was not that easy to use it to buy things. So it wasn't really a currency so much as it was a secure way of recording an exchange with a serial number in a blockchain. And so the main significance of it is the fact that for internet transactions, most things are duplicates. And so the internet was a great invention for humanity because it gave us, instead of a broadcast medium of one to many, it gave us a many to many medium. So we got a whole new way of organizing ourselves and communicating and having power to the people. So that did not lend itself to the economic transactions because you can't use an internet copy of things to exchange money, right? If there's a transaction where you had money in one account and it appears in another account, you don't want both of those accounts to show the same money. So it took the blockchain to come up with a way to use the internet to record those transfer transactions. And that means that we're in the dawning of an era where the internet is going to disrupt yet another aspect of our life. And in this case, it's going to be the institution of economic exchange. So, we've watched the internet eat things like the post office with email, and it ate things like television with all of the new ways
YouTube and stuff.
to get content through the internet. And it has disrupted music, and it's going to disrupt the way that we do our financial transactions. So I think that the first thing that's going to happen is there's just going to be a rise in money in all kinds of different sources that's going to be just chaotic, because people are going to, it's going to be kind of like every single business is going to have their own credit card for their own customers, and they'll be able to record their exchanges, and to the degree that those exchanges give them the ability to trade with somebody else, that currency will become more valuable. But at the beginning, it's hard to know which currencies, which cryptocurrencies will become the ones that are actually valuable in terms of real money instead of just private exchanges. And there'll be a shakedown, just like there was in the internet, of who's going to provide that and who's going to be the big vendor. And, Bitcoin is the first. It's the one that's teaching people the strength, the power of cryptocurrencies, but it's not necessarily going to win out because the way that the transactions are handled is very slow compared to how fast it would need to be to keep up with all of the transactions that people would like to do through the internet. So there are some other rising stars that, currently I guess there's big names like Ethereum or Ripple, or you could probably name a few others.
It's also interesting that Bitcoin is crashing right now along with the drop in technology stocks.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that's because it is still a speculative thing, and its value is based on people who want to use Bitcoin as the medium of exchange for other cryptocurrencies. So it's not really an independent market for goods and services yet. It's a cryptocurrency market for cryptocurrencies for people who want to hold some of their money in cryptocurrency. And there are people who believe that some kind of financial currency disruption is ahead, and that holding your money in a lot of different forms, silver, gold, cryptocurrency, cash at home, cash in the bank, cash in PayPal, it's like there are a lot of people who think that since we don't know what to expect, the best thing is to have lots of nest eggs in different places, because if the banks fail, something else will work.
Have you been looking at Bitcoin as an investment possibility?
Yeah, I've been using it mostly to invest in the other cryptos.
Oh,
the other coins.
Okay, so you've actively exchanged it on the market then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think about that? What is your comment based on that little? That's how it seems to me. It seems like we're at this new era of electronic money, and there's going to be a shakedown in the next year, 2, 3, 5, something like that.
Yeah, my question, well, one of my concerns is, I've got it in the Ripple and a few of these other ones. Is this something where we can potentially make money and pull it back out, or is the capital gains going to outweigh any of that?
Well, it looks like to me, if you have the mind for something like day trading thinking, it seems to be an interesting market to play in, especially when there's instabilities that you can track on a moment by moment basis. That people like to play day trading would probably do well if they wanted to play with the cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, and in terms of the what did you say, the taxation of your profits? I mean, it's a very volatile market, and if you make a lot of profits, you're still only paying a percentage of that for your capital gains. So it really depends on how well you do, right?
Right.
So I mean, there are people that are. I've spoken with cryptocurrency traders who say that $1 million a week moves through their portfolio, and just in the buy low, sell high. And
that said, Bitcoin broke $3,000 this week. which so if you've been sitting on it for a while, you'd be making a fair amount of money by now.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, I think right now, Bitcoin is the international exchange of cryptocurrencies. Like, kind of, if you want to be in the cryptocurrency market, you have to be able to buy and sell Bitcoin, because that is the doorway to turning it into real currency in other ways.
Right.
So
Do you guys have a few favorite cryptos? Like to throw out
sure.
there?
Yeah. Well, besides Bitcoin, the ones that we said, I think Ethereum, I think Ripple. I personally am into Proc. I was into OneCoin before it was, disallowed in the U.S. Market. And, what I like about Procoin, which is called Proc, which is fairly new in the scene, is that they're a multi-level that's cultivating a real online marketplace, kind of like an Amazon marketplace. So their business model is one where they're really trying to be a rewards system right now to create people who are using the coins and holding the coins and using them for real transactions. So I think the ones to watch are the ones that have a real live customer that's not just interested in speculating on the value of the coin.
Right, the ones that take it beyond speculation.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Sure.
thanks for calling, Jerry. Glad you called.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Yeah, you bet. Take care. Yeah, it's one of your favorite topics.
It is.
Future.
You get me started, huh?
Yeah.
We are planning to do a big show on that and bring in some people who are way more knowledgeable than me. So anyway, but I do love talking about it and thinking about it.
It's true. We have been exploring that. We've been looking at Bitcoin mining, crypto mining techniques, and
Sure.
how you can set up a computer to mine away and make money for you on the side.
Yeah.
How realistic is that as an additional form of income?
Yeah, really good idea.
And exploring that and see what's real there. What's the breakdown? Does it cost more in electricity?
Good
than what you
question.
can make? Okay, well, listen, we'll to be explored further. If any of you people have interest in this topic, give us a call. We'd like to hear what your experiences is with the cryptos, among other things.
Right now, we're going to go to our CBS News break and hear from a few sponsors, and then we'll be back with the Dr. Future Show. Stay tuned.
And he lit in a tree. I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me.
Hi, I'm Irvin with Outdoor Science Exploration and Classroom Science Fun. There's a science camp for kids in Santa Cruz called Outdoor Science Exploration, oscfun.com. Starting June 19, there's 5 weeks of field trips to choose from for ages 7 to 14. We go to parks and beaches and have fun with active learning physics and chemistry along with earth, life, and nature sciences. We also teach more than 100 classes each year at schools. The website is oscfun.com.
Hello, everyone. This is Meg from Ben Lomond Market. June is a busy month with graduations, Father's Day, and summer vacations beginning. So come to the market where we have graduation party supplies, floral leis, and fresh bouquets of various sizes, cards and gifts for Dad and the grads, and, of course, sales throughout the store. In the meat department, we have bone-in New Yorks at $7.99 a pound, top sirloin steaks, $8.49 a pound, tri-tip roasts, $8.99 a pound, wafer-thin pork chops, $4.99 a pound, pork steaks, $2.49 a pound, fresh Atlantic salmon, $11.99 a pound, and bay shrimp at $9.99 a pound, just to mention a few. Big Joe in Produce says, come on in and check out these prices. Red leaf, green leaf, and romaine lettuce, just 99 cents each. Roma tomatoes, 99 cents a pound. Large avocados, $1.69 each. Large cantaloupes, 2 for $3, and large gala or red delicious apples, 69 cents a pound. So stop by and see for yourself the savings in every department. And thank you for shopping with us at Ben Lomond Market.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Costa, host of the Costa Report, every Thursday at 2 p.m. My guest this week is the governor of Kentucky, Matt Bevin, who is going where no man has gone before. He's tackling pension reform in his state before it implodes. Find out how Thursday at 2 p.m. on the Costa Report, right here on AM 1080, KSCO. Listen and be heard.
CBS News Special Report. Attorney General Jeff Sessions angrily denied reports he had an undisclosed meeting with the Russian ambassador or conversations with Russian officials about the election during his just finished appearance before the Senate Intelligence Committee.
The suggestion that I participated in any collusion, that I was aware of any collusion with the Russian government to hurt this country is an appalling and detestable lie.
And Sessions told Democratic Senator Ron Wyden he stayed out of the Russia investigation as promised.
Mr. Comey said that there were matters with respect to the recusal that were problematic and he couldn't talk about them. What are they?
Why don't you tell me? There are none, Senator Wyden. There are none. I can tell you that for absolute certainty.
CBS News Special Report, I'm Pam Coulter.
For gardeners and everyone who enjoys exploring other people's gardens. On Saturday, June 24th from 10 to 4, you can tour 7 unique and inspiring gardens in Felton and Ben Lomond. All proceeds benefit the non-profit Valley Churches United. Tickets are $20 and can be purchased at most local nurseries. Go to vcum.org for more information. Proudly presented by KSCO and Mountain Feed and Farm Supply. Hope to see you there.
What blinding flash of brilliance is on Coast to Coast AM tonight?
How many secret military forces do we have? I'm George Norrie. Join us on our next program as I talk about Joint Special Operations and what they really do, followed by our special guest Whitley Strieber talking about UFOs.
Coast to Coast AM, sunscreen not required.
Listen to Coast tonight, beginning at 10 p.m. on KSCO.
Welcome back to the Dr. Future Show. Yes, talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and such reminded me of a little idea I had yesterday. At lunchtime, I borrowed my brother's magazine. Came in the mail on gold.
Oh, yes, he's a gold prospector. Your brother loves gold.
Yeah, and using little metal detectors to find gold, that sort of thing. And it's funny because I just put an article in our links page for Dr. Future Show called How to Design and Build Your Own Robot.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's all about how there are simplified interactive design tools that you can now get that will allow you to 3D print robots for whatever purpose you want. And I thought that was kind of an interesting DIY piece on robots and designs. And again, that's in our links page for you to peruse. You can design dinosaurs and such like that. I thought it was a very interesting little kit. Mm-hmm. So then I'm reading this metal magazine on, metal detectors and prospecting and, a very different world. And I realized, I was thinking about that 99% of the gold in this planet is actually very close to the core, mostly down. And we've barely tapped any of the gold that's on this planet. And a little bit of it that comes up through, because the heavier elements are closer in because of gravity. And the little centripetal force maybe pushes some of it out, volcanism, and that's what we've discovered here near the surface. Now, what I was thinking is combining the metal detector technology with the robotic technology for creating little Zumba gold detectors.
You're calling it Zumba. You mean Roomba?
Excuse me. Yeah,
the
Roomba.
Yeah, Zumba is like, dance.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Mrs. Future. I don't know what I was thinking.
I like the idea of dance gold
Dancing
detectors. That's pretty
Roomba
fun.
Gold detectors?
Sure. Sort of, you know how you have those bicycle-powered audio stages, right? Maybe this could be a dance-powered gold mining vehicle that you could ride on the beach.
That's right. You just send it out on the beach, it cruises around, does its thing for hours and hours and hours, and comes back and gives you some gold. Rings or whatever else it finds.
Sure.
A silly idea. I know. You can chastise me for it, but I think it might have some value to someone who
for people who
is
like to
geeky
collect
enough
gold.
To think about robots.
And I do think people still like to collect gold for some sentimental reason.
Yeah,
Just something
metal
in our
detection.
monkey DNA, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to use it for actual transactions. It's a little
Shiny.
obsolete.
Shiny, so shiny. So nice. So there you go. There's a Dr. Future money-making idea for you if there ever was one.
Absolutely.
Now back to the serious news here.
Serious.
When I was in the medical world, I was really impressed by two things. One was a researchers, who have deciphered how faces are encoded in the brain.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, so this is something that isn't Google sort of the leader in AI trying to
Facial
sort that
recognition?
out? Facial recognition, yeah. I mean, they used to have it as part of, I guess, was it part of Facebook? It seems like there was a time where facial recognition was built in, and then I know Google was getting a lot of flack about it, and they took it out, right? It was one of those things.
Yeah, I wish they had facial recognition more, that we could open source facial recognition that I could use for my video archives.
Sure. It'd be nice if there was an app where you could say, identify all the faces in these videos, especially when you have like a lifetime of video.
Yeah,
like
and everyone's
you
going
do.
to have them. Everyone's collecting thousands and thousands of pictures, and they're going into either online cloud locations or on hard drives
Well,
at home.
aren't there some that you can opt into?
They're starting to become more and more available. I think, Google, if you store your images at Google, they'll do a rudimentary image search. Like if you type in cars, for example, it'll find all the car shots in all your pictures.
It seems to me at the Apple Developer Conference, they were also touting their ability to pick up where you left off. If you identify your pictures, then they'll go through and identify the rest of them for you and things like that.
And you help identify. Remember, Picasso used to ask you to name people and help them identify. And Facebook does that too.
Yeah, right.
We got a caller, Mrs.
We
Future?
do. A perfect person to comment on this, Wendy, who I think, Wendy, you at one point were an Apple programmer, right?
In
Or
a
an
very
Apple
rudimentary way, very in a high school class. But it was just at that wonderful point with the first Apple II, which, as everyone knows, isn't the Apple One.
I know,
Or
but
it
it
is
was
the
the
Apple
one.
one.
It was the
Yeah,
one
it
we
was.
all knew and loved.
Yeah, they had they did like the Lisa. Oh, the Apple One was like made out of plywood, I think.
Right.
But isn't the Apple II the first one that did color graphics?
Yeah,
It did, and then we lost them. I was like, wait, my Garfield is in color, and now the Macintosh is here, and ooh, it's black and white. Yeah, I know.
2 steps
Start over.
forward.
Yeah,
Start
it's like,
all
okay,
over.
that computer science degree I got into Phi Delta because I was a computer science major. I think I'll go into art because I might as well learn how to draw since you guys took the color out of it.
Yes. Go back to black
There
and white,
was always
will you?
pixel paint. I mean, pixel paint. Wasn't there a book about?
That is like heaven.
Yeah, Zen.
I mean, I'm glad it was one lifetime to go from having to put in each high res or even worse low res. If you were trying, I mean, you had to type in a coordinate point for every color. You had to specify color. You had to specify place. You had to specify it was a line.
You had
and
to,
how
but as soon
long.
as you specified, bang, there was color. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
The first time that ever happened.
Oh, and I'm so glad. It's like, okay, I'll go to sleep for 2 decades. You guys have fun. I'll play with your little tools and programming things, but I'll get back to you later, okay?
When I first met Mrs. Future, she had a Super Mac monitor, which was a really incredible color monitor.
Yeah.
What year is this?
This was like 1992.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Big,
that's
huge
early.
honking monitor.
That's early.
I've been a tech
Mac
chick
2.
for a long time, and I always get
Mac 2
the
was
most
color.
forward-reaching gear. I always reach for whatever is the top of the line right now, so that it'll be good for the next 5 or more years.
Yeah, just after they know that it won't blow you up.
Right. Yeah, not the first one.
I know. I usually try to say, okay, it's just about gone now, and it's now on the lowest clearance price I can get at. Yes, I got it.
Right.
Yes, my backwards way of dealing with society. Well, I won't be tempted if I can't afford it, right?
Well, There you go.
Oh, a car in Santa Cruz, can't afford it. Oh, shucks, I got to walk everywhere. Oh, my goodness. Isn't that healthy for me? You know, someone, I want to go to the gym and spend all that time. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, you know,
$30 an hour I could be making here.
You
know?
could, yeah. And did you know that that's exactly the issue that's happening with virtual reality right now? Sony just released the fact that they sold 60 million PlayStations, but only about 1 million of those owners bought the VR headset. Only 1 out of 6.
And thus, the VR development budget has dried up. Like last year, it was kind of like the bright and shiny star for everybody who wanted to develop new content. And now VR artists are just, they're back in the job lines looking for work.
Well, and that happens a lot, though. It comes in. You got the first people who will do anything. It's new, let's buy it. Of course, then it sits on their shelf, no one plays with it, and then their granddaughter comes along. It's like, wow, it's a VCR that you carry the camera on your shoulder and you carry the VCR with you. Oh, this is great. Can I use this, Papu?
Yes.
The grandfather. And and they made a remake of The Jedi. Yes, you saw Hardware Wars, but you did not see remake of The Jedi because it was for a class project for my friend.
Timing is so important in this. I mean, I met an inventor who came out with a tablet in 1994.
Oh boy!
And that's when the Newton was hot. And it never caught on then. Of course, that was before Wi-Fi and before we had a lot of other things that seemed to be essential for it to work.
Well, the thing about the Newton, it was before cell phones. I mean, there was no one to send
there were bricks,
handwritten
those giant
thing
bricks,
to.
Yeah,
I know. It's just
happens
ahead of its time. It was paving the way.
Yeah.
Paving the way.
I loved Beta.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Betamax?
Betamax movies. I taped because you I guess 30 years later I can say it. They didn't protect if you were taping onto Beta.
I say no copy protection, huh?
It was so rare. It was like, oh, hey, do you guys still have that collection of movies there at home?
Yeah, do you have those Beta collections? Those are really valuable today, aren't they?
Yeah, and then you could, the Betamax machine, oh my goodness.
Well, I think at the time, since I believe, this is ancient history here, but, when audio tapes were big and people were doing their own mixtapes, it was legal to make your own personal mixtape because that was not a copyright infringement because it was considered fair use if people were buying the tape.
Huh?
Right, because if you kept the tape in the car, it turned into a piece of spaghetti.
Right.
And, so you actually,
So it was a very different expectation about music.
But I think it's the same legal precedent. That's why it's on your computer, it's on your iPad. I think iTunes lets you have 5 to 6 devices with your song on it. Mm-hmm. So you buy it from iTunes and then you just put it all over the place and you keep it in the cloud and you take it down when you want it, put it on whatever. I think it goes back to the trials for the cassette tapes because of course, you had to do mixtapes, and of course it was from your sister's stuff, but you didn't tell them that.
You still have all your old stuff?
Oh, I try. I have that storage unit like Bill staring at me and I think, oh my gosh, and then I went crazy on 45s. Oh, there was just this point where, you could just buy almost anything on eBay for a song when, I think Meg Whitman pissed off every liberal and more liberals had computers. and worked, so, they were, it's like, I can't buy from eBay right now. And so everyone was putting things on for 99 cents and cheating eBay out of a fee to list, which you have to do if you do it more than 99 cents. And I think that you just had a perfect storm because Craigslist was suing eBay about 7 years ago. When Meg was going for it, and there was just a time when you just what do you want? I had to apologize to a Native American. And he only sent me one of the flutes I won.
All right. Well, thanks, Wendy, for some.
And
I actually had a whole other point.
Okay. Well, hold on. Then we'll bring you back after the break.
Okay. Thank you.
Back in a couple minutes. All right. This is the Dr. Future Show. Stay tuned. Thanks for listening.
Hi, registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs here. I've been studying healthy bodies for 35 years, and what I've got to tell you may shock and surprise you, but if you listen up,
It may change your life. You don't hear a lot about it, but it's one of the most ubiquitous of all the vitamins. It's called pantothenic acid, also known as vitamin B5. B5's main role is to help the body process and utilize fats. But when it's topically applied, it can have some interesting and helpful cosmetic effects too. Pantothenic acid used directly on the skin has anti-inflammatory and anti-irritant properties. It can prevent the formation of scars and speed the healing of broken and wounded skin. It's also been effectively used to treat burns and surgical wounds. In 1947, panthenol, a derivative, made its debut as a hair health ingredient when the drug company Hoffman La Roche started selling a shampoo featuring the nutrient. They called it Pantene, and it became so successful and iconic it remains available to this day and is still one of the best-selling hair care products in the world. If you want to take advantage of the power of panthenol for preventing hair breakage and improving its shine and radiance, or if you want to use the vitamin to improve skin health, you don't need to spend a lot of money on fancy products. It's easy to go the do-it-yourself route, as pure panthenol powder is readily available on the internet. You can dissolve 1 or 2 teaspoonfuls to a cup of water, store it in the fridge for an easy, inexpensive nutritional hair mist, or add as desired to your favorite shampoos, conditioners, or moisturizers, making your own homemade panthenol-rich beauty products. Pharmacist Ben here, urging you to go to KSCOhealth.com to order Beyond Tangy Tangerine, the Healthy Start Pack, and other nutritional supplements that I personally use and recommend. You can purchase these premium quality products at wholesale prices online at KSCOhealth.com. That's KSCOhealth.com. I'm the pharmacist that believes that staying healthy and strong is not only about medicine, it's about giving your body the raw materials it needs to do its work. Go to KSCOhealth.com. Make sure you check out the cool videos, too, at KSCOhealth.com. That's KSCOhealth.com.
Okay, welcome back to the Dr. Future Show, and we have Wendy on the line, who actually called in for a very important call, right,
Yeah,
Wendy?
you wanted to talk
I
about
did.
robots, right?
Yes, and I this might be totally obvious, and it might be a quick thing to segue into whatever else you're going to go into.
Yeah.
But robots and submersibles.
Ah.
I was thinking how much are they combining that technology. I have to fondly say I fell in love with the little cutter robot who was taking care of the Deepwater Horizon when they were taking off the wellhead, just like in that John Wayne movie with the Hellfighters.
Wow, good
And
movie, yeah.
he got stuffed with mud, and it was so sad. And he just sat there through the whole thing, just dead in the water because they hadn't designed him right, and all this mud just flushed into the his little saw there. And I mean, it was like, oh my gosh, this is worse than like E.T. or something. I'm like, I'm sympathizing. And it just, we were talking about robots, and it just dawned on me. I wonder how much they combine the abilities.
Well, I'll tell you, in terms of submersibles, Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, or MBARI for short, is one of the leaders in that arena. They're right here.
Oh, and it's so fascinating. Oh, that place is great. I had a
you can get a tour.
Wonderful thing to get a membership there. I mean, if just take a year and just like saturate yourself and your kid.
Absolutely. And
I did it when they had that Salinas overpass when it was just brand new, so you had to break in some of the traffic for a while, about a year.
Yeah.
And it was perfect because we got down there a lot, and went down to the airport and ate there, and had Wi-Fi and planes, perfect for kids.
Cool.
But I just wanted to bring that out and get people thinking.
By the way, there's also a group connected with the Maker Faire. If you go to the Maker Faire, people, there's submersibles and robot technologies there. They're a fascinating area because most of this is a water planet, and to be able to explore most of the planet would be a good thing.
Yeah, well, at least be able to start there. Yeah, and it's applicable to, down a mine or something. When you're doing early testing. I was thinking, checking for gold. You were talking about putting sensors in different places, and this is kind of where I thought of going. Sending a little robot down an old well with a metal detector,
underwater metal detector.
Yeah, if you had, or even a dry well, whatever, wherever you were going, just, these, sending out these little different sized drones.
That's true. They could do that. And I don't know how much that is actually happening on a pragmatic level. I do know from a scientific level, they are doing research along these lines, and also from a militaristic point of view.
Yeah.
But for consumer maker use, I think it's the field's wide open to explore, and the technology is fast, cheap, and out of control for all this stuff. So why not?
And then you can always sell it to bomb squads, things like that.
Yes, you could. You could come up with some new entrepreneurial idea of dealing with IEDs, even. I mean,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a real good one. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's really good. Okay, put check mark here. Do.
Yes, let's get rid of these problems here.
Yes, put that in your little idea recipe files. It's
That's
like,
right.
this could be a copyright or patent right there. It's under
There you go.
KSCO.
New
again.
jobs in problem solving,
Oh, yes.
using technology. We like it.
Yeah, the recipe box, a woman can use it around men, and they'll not notice. They'll just go on and do their thing. It's great for ideas.
Well, I've always noticed men really like vacuuming, so I'm sure that's
well,
pointing
that's
in the right direction.
That's why I came out. I thought the Zumba, actually Roomba robot.
Yeah, they'd have them that.
That could also vacuum for gold. Get and stuff on the beach.
Vacuum the
there you go
beach.
again.
Yeah,
There you go.
And have a sensor to stay away from people on the beach because you don't want to be bothered.
That's right. You do not want to be kicking sand on anybody's towel or getting it in their suntan lotion or
Well, you've got
you
the
will not
ones
make
that will-
friends.
And then you want to protect your treasure box on board your robot.
My mother had an electric lawn blower that was a lawn sucker
that's a good
too.
idea. Yeah.
It was and she could vacuum the leaves and instead of blow them. She didn't like to be rude.
So she sucked the leaves in instead of blowing them around.
No, just bag them, yeah.
And Mrs. Future's experimented with the blower in terms of the living room, the house.
Well, Dr. Future has experimented with drones in the house. I mean, he flies drones down the hallway,
Well,
I had to
there's some
change
days
some of
when
my
you got-
art.
Yeah, you got projects all over the place, and I have to have this vacuumed and looking good. Okay, so lawn blower into the corner, and then vacuum. Okay, because it's a pickup. You got the thing that will go around and vacuum, but you don't have the thing that will pick up all the stuff that it will eat.
Well, it's
and,
like
and
every
destroy
space
it.
has to be drone proofed. Every space has to be vacuum proofed because
and they don't realize it's like, give us more toys so we have more work to do. Thank you.
The robots are way more dangerous than little kids.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
I think cleaning though. I think blowing inside is right if you design your house to handle blowing.
There you go. Yeah. Great way to clean, effortless. It makes your place smell good.
Just don't have a lot of knickknacks
it's
that
a
can blow away
design
easily.
issue.
You'll be all right.
When you're having a baby or having a kid, you just need an apartment like that. That's it right there. Okay. You just have to say, okay, I am now going to be in an apartment for this stage of my life, and I will have other investments. Okay.
I like it. In the cradle to cradle economy, we have baby-friendly environments for moms and babies.
Please. Oh, please. Just keep the traffic about 2 miles away. Okay, thanks. That'll help. That's the worst thing. Oh, it's like, no, I'm going to see the relatives. No, we go to the place that's way out in the middle of no place, this steakhouse on the edge of Denver, because there's no traffic nearby. So if I actually spend 2 seconds talking to another human, I won't worry that my kid has just been run over. You take them out of the controlled environments, and it's just stress.
Because they like to wander.
Back to the woods.
Let's take a totally irrational being that's very small, no one even sees it, and put it out into the world and not even think about it, and then say, oh, she's just a mother, she's not doing anything. It's like, no, wait a minute, I've worked a lot of different jobs here, and this is like, it's
Got it.
The job you can never leave.
He's
about to be 12, so
well,
I'm seeing like this horizon.
All right. Well, you see, here's
non-legal culpability.
Here's another idea: is that if you get into robots, you can start creating a child tender robot that has to learn along with the child about what's important to pay attention to. So as you're paying attention to for what the kid needs to pay attention to outside, the robot could be learning those things at the same time.
I think it's easier to go into a mine.
I see. This is one of the.
But that's where you're going to get the information, though, and you might eventually you do enough segments of the population and in occupational areas where you're doing one thing, and then you bring a child in. You talk about mountain climbing. What about my cupboards? Okay.
I guess you make sense. It's a lot easier to get the gold, and then you have the time to think about the child tender robot.
The final frontier is you actually come into the high-tech house. I mean, and everything is there. It's And it's just, getting the right advertising with the right place and the right this and the right that, and Sunset Magazine or Good Housekeeping and, Parent Magazine, and just, mix it all up.
Have all those things in there. Like it should be at Futureland at it's Future World at Disneyland. Something like, they used to have the Monsanto House of the Future. Remember that at Disneyland?
Oh, yeah, then they realized, well, just get rid of the house part. We'll do the future thing. It's like high-tech, you work in this environment, but of course you wouldn't actually live here, right? No. This is where we wear our high heels and we have makeup, and so we never have to really bend down too far so our skirts don't go up in the back. A fashion industry,
This is June Cleaver era. I think we've come a long way since then.
Yeah, and that was June Cleaver living in a cement house.
Put us back so far.
Yeah.
Well, on that wonderful note, I that was the parent company of my store that I was assistant manager of. Can't give myself too much airs, but when you're working for one of the world's biggest retailers, you just don't know what you've learned. It's like how to doubt everyone. Okay.
Whoa.
How to sell to everybody. Okay. Use a clipboard to fold that shirt. Yeah. Yeah, that was the main thing. All right, perfection. You think the military was bad. Oh, my goodness, a mall store. Wow.
All right. Yeah. That's really good, Wendy. I'm going to give us a last 4 minutes here to kind of build in a couple of extra headlines, because I know Dr. Future still has a couple more he wants to bring in.
I want to
it's
introduce
been such a day.
I do have
Anne
another,
Rice,
I do have another story.
Vampire Chronicles coming to TV. Yes, that was the big Twitter news.
Well,
at least in my neighborhood.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All
well,
right.
In my neighborhood, it was whether or not can porn be feminist. Can porn be feminist? Yeah. Big topic.
Well,
big topic.
It was called the Lighted Tree in Syracuse. I went in there one time, and it was like, they do that? Oh, well, no, Trump's wife did, too. They were in France, though. And it wasn't that. It wasn't hard. No.
Okay,
yeah. Well, now I'll give you your 2 minutes now.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Wendy. Bye-bye. All right.
Figure that out.
Yes, well, that's definitely the interactive side of the show that we like. If you got an interest in robots, the future, and ways that we can use them today,
Yes,
that was really great. Thanks, Wendy.
I got some other articles there that I won't be able to get into today, but there's some new data from NASA's Curiosity rover that looks at environmental changes on Mars and potential life there, the latest stuff there. Mini nuclear accelerators for treating cancer, fascinating arena. The idea of female porn directors and their attitudes about creating porn that's suitable for women, not just men, and what that's about. I thought that was an interesting future concept.
Hey, it's a new crop of women. We have very new attitudes about the old stereotypes.
Exactly. I also a non-invasive method for deep brain stimulation, right? That's just instead of using electrodes for stimulating the brain, you use electromagnetic fields that intersect, that create points of intersection where stimulation occurs.
Yeah, deep brain stimulation, such as the kind of
electrodes in the deep part of the brain.
Right, such as the kind of therapies that I understood they were using for Parkinson's disease and neural issues like that. Anyway, yeah.
And tilt rotors. The drone technology has gotten sophisticated enough so that they all can have tilt rotors, or some of them do now, that allow them to fly horizontally and vertically, hover vertically, hover.
Yeah, so it almost
in
looks like
positions.
Drones are turning on their side just because they can take their propellers and change the angle with respect to the body.
And that's just one thing that you can do with tilt rotors. Tilt rotors open up a whole new freedom of air flight. That's amazing. So I have an article on that. And in the next little bit, we have Beyond the Little Blue Box. We have John Draper, Captain Crunch, is going to talk to us a little bit about the state-of-the-art of hacking and his adventures. Coming right up after the news.
All right, folks, you're listening to the Dr. Future Show on KSCO Santa Cruz. And we'll be back with the second hour after traffic.
Did the Russians hack us? We want to know these things.
CBS News and Dave Michaels. Again, this is the Dr. Future Show on KSCO Santa Cruz.
CBS News, I'm Pam Coulter. Attorney General Jeff Sessions vigorously rejected any suggestion he may have colluded with Russians during his time with the Trump campaign. CBS's Steve Dorsey.
This is a secret innuendo being leaked out there about me, and I don't appreciate it.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions went on defense before the Senate Intelligence Committee amid concerns about his hand in firing former FBI Director James Comey, despite recusing himself from the Russia investigation. He also denied wrongdoing while meeting with Russia's ambassador during the election while serving as a Trump campaign surrogate.
The suggestion that I participated in any collusion, that I was aware of any collusion with the Russian government to hurt this country is an appalling and detestable lie.
Steve Dorsey, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A friend of the president's got a lot of tongues wagging by suggesting Mr. Trump might fire special counsel Robert Mueller. Speaker Paul Ryan doesn't like the idea.
I think the best thing to do is to let Robert Mueller do his job. I think the best vindication for the president is to let this investigation go on independently and thoroughly. That, to me, is the smartest thing to do, the best thing to do, and that's what I think hopefully will happen.
Joy at learning college student Otto Warmbier has been released by North Korea is tempered by the disclosure that the young man is in a coma. CBS's Cammie McCormick says the announcement came from Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
Tillerson said Warmbier is on his way back to the U.S. to be reunited with his family. He says in a statement that the State Department secured Warmbier's release at the direction of President Trump. The State Department is also, he said, discussing with Pyongyang 3 other Americans detained in North Korea.
The Trump administration's Afghanistan strategy has been delayed until next month, despite the deteriorating situation there. Defense Secretary James Mattis grilled by Arizona Senator John McCain.
Do you agree that we're not winning in Afghanistan?
Sir, I understand the urgency. I understand it's my responsibility. We're not winning in Afghanistan right now.
The jury in the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial continues to deliberate the charges against him. CBS's Matt Piper.
Bill Cosby's fate is still in a jury's hands on day 2 of deliberations for a 12-member jury who's 300 miles from home. They've been led back into the courtroom in order to go over parts of testimony they heard from witnesses over 6 days. Cosby did not take the stand, and his spokesman tells reporters he's in good spirits today.
Uber CEO Travis Kalanick's taking a leave of absence after the sudden death of his mother, and as a report comes out on allegations of harassment and a toxic environment at the company. Yahoo's Daniel Roberts.
As he says in the email, this is about grief, but I think also this is about the company recognizing that it needed to publicly make a change.
On Wall Street, the Dow was up 92 points today. NASDAQ rose 45. This is CBS News.
I have failed at very few things.
I'm afraid.
Marcus Lemonis.
I didn't come here to give you a rose. I came here to give you a reality check. You guys are essentially out of business right now.
The Turnaround King is back.
You're a powerful man, and that is not an easy thing to work with. I think you're going to be surprised. The risk is high, but if it works, the payoff is huge.
I want to thank y'all because my life is riding on this.
Thank you so much. Let's go to work.
The Prophet, all new tonight at 10. CNBC. Get yours.
This is Charles Husband. Olivet Nazarene University believes that an education unlocks a person's potential. They believe an educated person has a positive impact on his or her community. They believe that education is not something to be contained, but imparted to the world. They believe in you. Learn more at graduate.olivet.edu. Olivet Nazarene University. From where you are to where you will be.
Best Buy is trying a rent-to-buy option. CBS's Jason Brooks.
Consumer electronics may be the next market ripe for short-term rentals. Recode reports that Best Buy is going to offer a try-before-you-buy rental service for a variety of devices, including cameras, fitness trackers, drones, and audio gear. The nation's biggest electronics chain will offer the program in a partnership with Lumoid, a San Francisco startup that's already in the rent-to-buy business, where customers can get a week-long tryout of an Apple Watch for $50. Lumoid says it converts 1 in 3 renters of wearable devices into buyers.
President Trump is so into Twitter, he's become the tweeter-in-chief, and The Daily Show's paying tribute to that. It will unveil the Donald J. Trump Presidential Twitter Library this weekend, just around the corner from Trump Tower in Manhattan, and it will feature some of the president's best-known Twitter storms. The pop-up exhibit will be open from Friday through Sunday, admission free. Pam Coulter, CBS News.
I have failed at very few things.
I'm afraid.
Marcus Lemonis.
I didn't come here to give you a rose. I came here to give you a reality check. You guys are essentially out of business right now.
The Turnaround King is back.
You're a powerful man, and that is not an easy thing to work with. I think you're going to be surprised. The risk is high, but if it works, the payoff is huge.
I want to thank y'all because my life is riding on this.
Thank you so much. Let's go to work.
The Prophet, all new tonight at 10. CNBC. Get yours.
This is Charles Husband. Olivet Nazarene University believes that an education unlocks a person's potential. They believe an educated person has a positive impact on his or her community. They believe that education is not something to be contained, but imparted to the world. They believe in you. Learn more at graduate.olivet.edu. Olivet Nazarene University. From where you are to where you will be.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to AM 1080 KSCO Santa Cruz, AM 1340 KOMY La Selva Beach, Watsonville. The time is now 3:06. We've got a quick look at traffic and weather for you. We will start off with let's start off with traffic. Things here in Santa Cruz already slow moving in the southbound direction from the Fish Hook down to maybe from Soquel Avenue down to about Park Avenue. That stretch of roadway, again southbound 1, doing about 20 to 30 miles per hour. In Moss Landing, northbound traffic just after the harbor, 10 miles per hour. Speeds back to the limit somewhere near Springfield Road. 101 southbound, slow moving through Coyote Valley and Morgan Hill. Speeds picking up once you make it past Church Avenue. Speaking of that, CHP reporting southbound 101 near Church Avenue, a traffic collision with minor injuries. Tow truck is now on scene. Your weather forecast for this evening, mostly clear. Low should be around 50 degrees. Tomorrow should be sunny with highs in the mid-70s. And your boater's forecast for tonight includes a small craft advisory, west winds 15 to 25 knots, becoming northwest 5 to 15 knots after midnight. Wind waves 3 to 5 feet and northwest swells 4 to 5 feet at 8 seconds. 69 degrees outside KSCO studios. The time is now 3:07. Perfect time to stop by and pick up your BTT or Healthy Start Packs. Hour 2 of the Dr. Future Show straight ahead.
Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Ladies and gentlemen, KSCO presents the Dr. Future Show. If you would like to join in our show today, you can call us at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, your host, Dr. Future.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the show. This year we have a very special treat for you. We're bringing you live and in person John Draper, a.k.a. Captain Crunch, the grandfather of computer hacking as we know it today. John goes way back before the computer networks. He goes back to the phone systems, and actually the phone systems were, in a sense, the first global network before computers, and John was there exploring them, and the Magellan of the seas of that time, so to speak.
They were after telegraphs, though.
Yeah, after telegraphs, but the phone networks were the very early thing, and John explored those first and moved on from there. He has been through some amazing adventures over his life, and he's taken the time to finally write a book about his life, which I've had the privilege of seeing, and it's amazing, some of the stories. I mean, going back to the 50s, to the nuclear bombs blowing up in the desert.
I think it's really hard for people now in the digital native era to even understand what life was like before we had all this connectivity, and to read stories that bridge that gap from nothing to everything is really it's a time capsule.
Yeah, there are people. Yeah, and John's one of those that have spanned the generations to see this all evolve. John, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm here.
Yay. All right.
I wanted to make sure everybody knows and gets access to our website. It's www.beyondthelittlebluebox.com, all one big word. And if you want to get a copy of the book, this is very, very important to ensure you'll be one of the first lucky people to get a copy of the book. Make sure that you sign up for the mailing list. This is very important because you're going to be notified as soon as the Kickstarter campaign opens up, because there's going to be limited copies, so you got to get in there and get it while you can. There's also special
Perks, yeah.
rewards too.
Are you signing them too, John? Are you,
oh yeah, that's part of the rewards as well.
Yeah.
Signed copies of the book, and we're also going to be doing I think
Free-
we're going to be doing a blue Ananobox. This is a very small little
this
device.
is a perk in the
This is part of the perk
fundraiser for
for the Kickstarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is an Ananobox?
A Nanobox, what that is, it's a Tor router. All you do is you just connect it to your computer. You can connect it either through Wi-Fi or through your Cat5 connector cable, and connect it to go to a
So what, for the uninitiated,
cafe,
what's
and your IP address is hidden from everybody else. You
Okay,
get
so you're
access to
anonymous?
hidden services. Absolutely. There's no way they can trace you or anything.
So if you
And
want to
along-
go explore the dark web or whatever,
you
you're
can do
free.
that. Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
So
And
is
along-
that the equivalent of like a VPN?
It actually has a built-in VPN as well. So it's very important that that you know that. But the nice thing about it is it also has a Captain Crunch whistle that serves as a thumb drive, so you can store all your PGP keys on it and
I
put it on
see.
your key ring.
So you can watch American movies in other countries with impunity.
And speaking of VPNs,
Yes.
if you take a look at my wall on my Facebook page, facebook.com/JD Crunchman.
Yes.
There has been a Russian programmer that's been busted for setting up a VPN because Putin is planning on making VPNs illegal to use in Russia.
Oh, he's harkened back to his KGB background here.
So there's an article about that, and it's about this this Russian guy who got busted for setting up what is called an exit node. Anybody can participate in the Tor community by operating an exit node. So this guy Dmitry Bogatov, in Russia, has been arrested and charged with, quote, preparing to organize mass disorder, unquote.
I see.
So
Well,
you
isn't
have
that kind of
to-
ridiculous, though? I mean, isn't VPN pretty common technology?
Yeah, it is. It's very common, and this is why it's appalling to know that they're going to make VPNs illegal, because everybody uses a VPN. How do you connect to your company when you're working remotely? You do it through a VPN, and this is very important.
Could you maybe define
Virtual
it like
private
in
network,
1
is that it?
minute? Yeah, virtual private
VPN,
network.
Yeah, a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and what it is, it's a way of connecting to another computer that's not your computer, that's somewhere else. And when you go up and look at your IP address is not your IP address from your provider. You know, if you have an internet provider like Comcast, I call it Comcrap, and other providers. What those providers do is they do what is called deep packet inspection. So if you go to places like the Pirates Bay, they know that you're going to Pirates Bay. But if you go through a VPN, they don't know you're going through Pirates Bay. But you got to be careful in choosing the right VPN. I would choose IBVPN is a good one. They're out of Eastern Europe.
And this
I
will
would
have
not recommend you go with Golden Frog or Viper.
Gotcha. Will you have the
because-
right ones on your thumb drive?
Yeah, you can have all of those on your thumb drive.
Yeah, on your thumb drive. Listen,
yeah.
we got to go to a break. John, you hold on a sec. We'll be right back.
Sure.
This is the Dr. Future Show, KSCO, Santa Cruz.
That's right, and teaching you about VPNs and all kinds of things about how to guard your online privacy and safety.
Captain Crunch.
Do you Hi, my name is Alex of Boys and Girls Clubs of Santa Cruz County. Registration is now open for our Smarter Summer program. Open to youth ages 6 to 18, the summer program aims to reduce summer learning loss through fun and engaging classes and activities, including reading, technology, creative arts, music, athletics, field trips, and teen programs. All children are welcome, regardless of ability to pay. To register or provide financial support to local programs, visit boysandgirlsclub.info.
Is your computer running real slow like this? Or are you getting the blue screen of death? Do you have to do a restart several times a session? Tired of viruses, spyware, malware, and slow, worthless tech support? Face it, it's too late to download another free PC Fix-It program, thinking it'll be restored to out-of-box purity. Oh, no. You need the fast, friendly computer pros at User Friendly Computing. Just drop it off at their office at 505 River Street across from the Gateway Plaza, or give them a call at 831-423-9653, and they'll come to you. Mention KSCO and get a free $50 diagnostic. PC or Mac, desktop or laptop, they can do it all at User Friendly Computing. Call 831-423-9653.
Hi, I'm Captain Dave Michaels.
And this is Ben Picard.
Here aboard Flight 1080, we want to give you the most accurate traffic reports. And while we're at it, we'll cover national headlines, local headlines, play some great music, and cover the issues that matter to you. And that is why we have to get into this hot air balloon and leave right now. But you can listen from the safety of your home or in your car with your radio, computer, or smartphone. That's 1080 AM on your radio dial or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at KSCO.com. Wish us luck.
Welcome back to the Dr. Future Show. We're talking to John Draper, a.k.a. Captain Crunch, who just wrote his autobiography, Beyond the Little Blue Box. Welcome back to the show, John.
Hi. It's basically a narrative biography. It's been co-written by Craig Wilson. He's the co-author. He currently lives and resides in Spain. And I live in Las Vegas. So we're both collaborating together on the book.
Nice.
Now, this website that we have, beyondthelittlebluebox.com, is a special VIP section. And inside that VIP section, remember I said you need to sign up for that. So you sign up for that. You want to be getting into the VIP section because that's going to give you access to a lot more, you might say, goodies.
Yes, it's good software for surfing the web effortlessly.
Yeah, I have a lot of good Captain Crunch memorabilia kind of thing too.
Now, you said that the thumb drive that would have the VPN info and all that would also have a Captain Crunch whistle. No, doesn't that doesn't work anymore, right? That was a
it does blow 2600.
Oh, it'll blow
actually,
2600 tone. Okay.
There's no equipment that it responds to.
Right, no more 70s phone technology to respond to.
No.
Right.
No, but it does have a thumb drive, and you can put anything you want on there. And I was hoping to have the time to basically put together some good encryption software on it and stuff like that. But with copyright concerns, anybody can just go up and get that stuff anyway. And most people are using applications like Signal and WhatsApp and stuff.
Yeah, but still, I think knowing that you thoughtfully put together a collection of stuff that's somewhat trivial for you to think of, but maybe is a big deal for someone who hasn't taken the time to explore this arena.
And most of my time, of course, now is being recovering from a nasty surgery I had in March. And so some fans and colleagues have set up a GoFundMe site, gofundme.com/crunch-medical-fund. And I'm hoping with the money raised on that I can complete my goal of reaching a certain amount. And if I can reach that certain amount, I hope to have that FundMe site closed down hopefully very soon, and then I can get back to focusing on my book.
Yeah, you're also writing an article on your experiences with the American medical system.
That's right. Thank you for reminding me. I was actually going to think about that. Yes.
Which is an interesting thing because I'm sure you've been thinking about it from a hacking point of view as well, of how the system could be better.
I'm having to get the assistance of other professional writers because I can't write my way out of a wet paper bag. That's why there are people like Craig Wilson around to help me with a book.
Yeah. I thank God for teamwork.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, boy. So you're 75 now, is that right?
73.
73. Okay, so
right.
So you actually have lived through several generations.
I have lived through
of technology.
The entire beginning, even before the beginning of the computer revolution. I've been around when there weren't no computers.
So that's where your
there was
book
no
begins,
Facebook.
yeah.
There were no cell phones.
Right. It goes back to where there was long distance phone calls.
All
right?
there was these little princess phones, dial phones. They would connect you up to the local exchange, and you paid 25 cents a minute during nighttime, and 75 cents a minute during daytime to make a long distance call.
My God.
And you know, back then, during that time, I predicted that the phone companies were going to be offering flat rate long distance calling throughout the entire country. In other words, you can call the entire country flat rate. And now you take a look at some of these providers of leave landline phones, even, well, of course, cell phones too, will provide you with so many minutes, but it's covering the entire country.
Yeah, we went global.
Every call is like a local call.
So
now,
when were you thinking about that flat rate in the mid 70s? The timing when you were involved.
Yeah, back then it was it was unheard of. Who would ever think that the greedy Ma Bell would let you go for that? I can remember also when U.S. Sprint came on the service where you had to call a special number to get into Sprint and then connect through a code and get into Sprint.
Yeah.
Well, often when you want to make a call from a payphone, you ask your operator to connect you to the Sprint operator. They won't do it because it's a competing service and they won't connect you to that number. I've had that problem before.
Incompatibilities between systems. But back in the Ma Bell
days...
It's
not incompatibility per system, it's just incompatibility
billing
in the mindset of the phone company.
Right, in terms of making money. Now, when you said greedy, now you're talking even back in the 70s, there was a tremendous amount of money Ma Bell was making on the phone system?
Oh, they were gorging everybody back then. I mean,
really?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the rates were just horrible. And even now, today, you take your mobile phone and you go to Europe, and you connect to Skype and you make a Skype call, that Skype call is going to cost you about $300. Why? Because when you take your mobile phone and you go to another area, another country, you're data roaming, and that's where they can really soak you to the cleaners.
So watch out for data roaming.
What I would do...
Yeah, actually, my niece just went to Europe, and she's got a $10 a day plan for data roaming.
That's a good idea.
Get
a plan if you can, or better yet, what I would do is just get a SIM chip for the country that I'm visiting with a good data plan.
Where do you find those in countries? Where do they usually sell those?
Well, that's a problem because let's say in Germany, you're not going to be able to get on the LTE network unless you have a contract with one of the 4 different German providers.
You have to be a local resident for those usually,
You have to have a contract with them. Then they'll let you access the higher speed data, like 4G and LTE. But if you just get a SIM card, and you're going to pay about usually 30 euros, and that will usually give you about 2 gigabytes of data per month, which is good. But you're not connected to the higher speed network. You're connected to the G network, which is a little bit. It's kind of between the 3G and the 4G as far as speed goes. It's a little bit faster than 3G, but a little bit slower than 4G. And when you go between cities in Germany, you're only going to get 2G and Edge.
Oh, and so that doesn't really allow you to have a Skype call then even.
No, not even. So this is the thing you have to watch out for. Of course, in Germany, you can ride the Deutsche Bahn. They have internet Wi-Fi on most of the trains anyway. It's not very good, by the way. It's pretty slow. But they have internet mostly on the trains.
Well, that's good. At least they have it.
Yeah.
Now, in this country, you can get a number of encrypted voice communications now, right? Like Signal.
Yeah, I highly recommend Signal. Everybody's recommending Signal. For if you have a browser that supports WebRTC, you can also use the Jitsi bridge. It's basically https://meet for meet .jit. That's Juliet India Tango.si, and SI stands for Sam in India.
Okay, well, we'll put a link to this on our
Yeah,
links
make
page.
a link to that.
Yeah.
Because if you support WebRTC on your browser,
And most of them do, don't they?
Chrome
Chrome?
does, but do not. You don't even think about trying it with your Macintosh's Safari, because they don't support it. It's political reasons between Apple and Google.
What about Chrome on iPad?
No, I've never gotten it to work on my iPad.
Okay.
So anyway, so those are the ones that I would highly recommend. Is Signal. Now, Signal just upgraded their system now. They're now supporting voice. They're supporting voice with much better codecs now than they were before, so the quality is really good.
And what kind of encryption are they using? End-to-end?
They're using the best possible for what speed you're getting. And it's definitely end-to-end. It's also, it doesn't leave any metadata around.
So do they store the metadata at the...
Well, when you, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but when you sign up for a Signal account, you're given you give them your phone number, and then they take that phone number along with other information on you, and they hash that into a public key. They store that public key on their servers. There's no relationship with anybody that's on the Signal system. So
that gives them...
That public key and the secret key, of course, is stored on my iPhone.
So you're the only one that has both, though.
Right, exactly. So when you send me, or you're talking to me on Signal, then when you call me, I get your call coming in. It's your public key. I connect to the server using your public key and my public key, and it knows that we're two talking to each other. Signal knows, my iPhone knows what your iPhone's IP address is. Your iPhone knows what my IP address is. So we make
off you go on a good connection there.
With nothing in the middle.
Yeah. Nothing in the middle.
And there's nothing that relates. There's nothing that actually gives anybody else. The only thing that's stored up in the cloud is just your key.
And that's different from some of the other surfaces, like if you.
Oh yeah, like WhatsApp and stuff like that. I mean, they're recording all that stuff. I mean.
So they've already been breached as far as you're concerned.
Yeah.
In terms of any real security. So Signal's the app, and that works on Androids and iPhones.
Androids,
iOS.
It also works on laptops too, and on desktops as well.
So you can really have it on all. Is that related to any famous hackers like Phil Zimmerman or? Actually,
now that you mention it, Signal is using what they call the Open Whisper systems. And that's a system that was developed with Phil Zimmerman from PGP fame back in the early 90s.
Yeah, that was the first serious encryption for personal computers back in the 90s.
Right, exactly. It was pretty cumbersome to use.
Yeah.
You had to store your plain text on a file and store it on a machine somewhere, and then.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was a big deal. Listen, John, can you stay on and answer some questions?
Oh yeah, I'll be around.
Okay, Kevin, hold on. We got to go to CBS News break, and we'll be right back. Right. John Draper, a.k.a. Captain Crunch, author of Beyond the Little Blue Box.
If you love gardening like I do, don't miss a very special garden tour on Saturday, June 24th from 10 to 4. Explore 7 unique gardens in Felton and Ben Lomond while helping the non-profit Valley Churches United, which has served the community for over 35 years. Garden tour tickets are $20 and can be purchased at most local nurseries. Go to vcum.org for more information. Proudly presented by KSCO and Mountain Feed and Farm Supply.
Hi, I'm Irvin with Outdoor Science Exploration and Classroom Science Fun. There's a science camp for kids in Santa Cruz called Outdoor Science Exploration, osefun.com. Starting June 19, there's 5 weeks of field trips to choose from for ages 7 to 14. We go to parks and beaches and have fun with active learning physics and chemistry along with earth, life, and nature sciences. We also teach more than 100 classes each year at schools. The website is osefun.com.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
CBS News Special Report. A defiant Attorney General Jeff Sessions told former Senate colleagues he did not collude with Russian officials during the campaign and did not violate his recusal from Russia matters with his part in James Comey's firing.
These false attacks, the innuendos, the leaks, you can be sure will not intimidate me. In fact, these events have only strengthened my resolve to fulfill my duty.
Even though President Trump did not invoke executive privilege, Sessions refused to answer questions about his conversations with him on the Russia investigation. CBS's Steve Chigueras.
The question moving forward is, other than Democrats criticizing him for not answering questions, how are people going to react outside of Congress, around the country who are watching this? Are they going to fault Sessions for this? Are they going to put pressure on the president and Sessions to get answers to those questions?
CBS News Special Report, I'm Pam Coulter.
Wow, I'm standing outside the Staff of Life Natural Food Store watching shoppers buzz in and out like bees at their hive on a hot summer day. I'm wondering, what do all those shoppers find at Staff of Life they can't find at the big box store? Let's ask.
Tom, I've been shopping at Staff of Life since they first opened. It's always good. Good prices, good selection. You always see people you know, like you.
Hi, my name's Kalila. They're wonderful people, and I like to give my business to the people in my community. They have a good meat department. They have a great produce department. I mean, you can't find anything like this. It's for me that it's very satisfying to shop here.
Sharon, Santa Cruz. Staff of Life has the best food. I get fresh everything I need. They have a lot of things I can't find anywhere else.
Think local first and eat local first by shopping a genuine Santa Cruz tradition. The original, locally owned Staff of Life Natural Food Store at 1266 SoCal Avenue in Santa Cruz. If you can't find it at Staff of Life, maybe you don't want to find it.
Welcome back to the Dr. Future Show. We're talking to John Draper, a.k.a. Captain Crunch. Phone phreaker, legendary internet pioneer, privacy advocate, and author of Beyond the Little Blue Box.
And you sound like Darth Vader on the mic there, John.
And you have a co-author with your little box.
Yeah, he's actually listening to me right now. I've been
Awesome.
actually chatting with him in Spain on Skype while I've been talking to you.
Oh, fantastic. So he's hearing us now. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah, him and also Ali, the person who's helping us with the, she's in London, and she's helping us with the Kickstarter page. I want to mention also,
Well, greetings, Craig.
we've got two other Facebook pages that we would like to mention.
Okay.
I've got a fan page. It's facebook.com/John Captain Crunch Draper, all one big word. And
Captain
so
Crunch Draper.
that's my fan page. And we also have another one, facebook.com/Beyond the Little Blue Box. And when you go to that page, you can engage in discussions about the book, and I can respond to any of your questions there as well.
Okay, I do have a couple of questions that have come in by text.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Let's answer some questions.
Okay, one question wants to know about what's the relationship of Putin with the Russian hacker community. Do you know anything about that?
Well, from what I read, I actually watched the first Putin Stone interview.
Yeah.
Just like less than an hour ago. And
this is one that occurred when Stone was over there interviewing.
Oliver
Ed
Stone's
Stone.
been talking to him. On a Showtime
There's
special.
there are 4 interviews. It's on HBO or Showtime or one of those movie channels.
Showtime, I think.
Yeah, Showtime.
Mhm.
And so Putin is kind of washing his hands of the whole deal. He probably knows what's going on. He probably has got a lot of those programmers that he doesn't really have any direct connection with, because when he mentioned in one of his talks, he says, well, I don't really know that there might be some patriotic Russians out there trying to disrupt the
American elections.
The elections, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
People
there
who
was
didn't
him
want
mentioning
Hillary
that.
elected, and so they're trying to throw it towards Trump.
So I imagine there's something going on, because when I was during the election, I was asked to become a delegate for Clark County here in Nevada.
Yeah.
And I signed up as a delegate, but when I went down to to go through the process of registering for the state convention, I was told that I wasn't on their list. But yet when I go up on there and I showed them on my iPhone, yeah, I am on the list. Here it is. There's John Draper. I'm the delegate. This is my precinct number, yada, yada, yada. It says, no, you're not on our list. So what happened to me? Why did I get taken off the list? Well, that's a very good question.
Sounds like maybe Hillary shenanigans.
Well, who knows? Could be the Russians still modifying the database. You know, you never can tell.
Well, that's true. Now that brings in another hypothetical question. This is another question from the audience. If you had God privileges to all computer networks, what would you access to find out exactly what happened with the Russians and the president? What would you actually access?
NSA.com.
I see. Because they would know. So someone there would know that,
I mean, it wouldn't be NSA.com, of course. But
yeah, but that.
I mean, there obviously are very super secret networks that have got a lot of information on it. In fact, as you well know, the CIA lost control of one of their some of their golden jewels,
right,
as it were.
Which makes me wonder, well, why? What about some of the big questions we always see on the, on like whether or not aliens exist or crash saucers in Roswell, things like that? Shouldn't we be able to find out the real story?
Well, there has been reports of some hackers getting into the NASA website and grabbing some UFO documents.
Really?
But yeah. That was a long time ago. That was like in the mid-'90s.
So nothing really substantial
Nothing really
came
of that, because they were able to suppress that pretty readily.
Yeah. Is it possible that suppression can occur on the level to block something as core as
well, they're doing it.
Exist?
They're doing it. We already know they exist, right? They're doing it.
Well, what convinced you?
What convinced me?
Yeah.
When I was stationed up in Alaska, I was picking them up on radar, and I know where our airplanes can't fly the way they do.
So you were a radar operator for?
Well, I was a technician. I was actually working on the radar, and very often I calibrate the radar on Mount McKinley.
I see. And so you saw flying craft on the radar that they weren't some kind of meteorological anomaly.
None of our airplanes can do.
Really? And then you think there was intelligence behind them from what you saw?
I would imagine. Come on. Look at how big the universe is. We can't be the only ones out here.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you here, John. It seems to me Alan was telling me that one of the articles in his slate today was about a prediction that in the future propaganda is going to be so ruled by AIs that there will just not be any possibility for the average person to have access to what's really true. Unlike what you're saying now, which is just because we have access to the internet, we can know things that are true even though they're being denied officially. So how do we resolve the future where we have so much more access to information, but we have robots feeding us disinformation,
Fake
competing
news.
with people feeding us real and fake information? It's like, what is the average human supposed to do?
Do you have a solution for fake news?
Well, not really, other than just be skeptical and be aware of what's going on. Ask questions and stuff like that.
Sure.
So
same as it ever was.
Yeah, I mean, same as it ever was. I mean, they have this TV program called Million Years in the Future, Year a Million or something. I watched a couple of episodes of that, and it
Yeah.
was like, what happens to the human? And they were all talking about the humans going to escape their bodies and go completely virtual and be in the computer
Right.
and do that. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it, but it
Yeah.
was pretty.
I wouldn't call that an escape.
Yeah, you say.
No, I would definitely not call it an escape.
Well, that's a
It's
Lawnmower
very
Man thing, yeah?
far-fetched, you know.
Yeah.
Very far-fetched.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man kind of stuff.
So you don't think we'll reach a point where we can just put our minds into a cybernetic field?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Not anytime soon, right? Meanwhile, you're dealing with real flesh and blood issues.
Yeah, really. Well, that's my whole idea right now. Like, I'm trying to heal myself, and the surgery that I had just completely knocked me out. I mean, I can't do anything hardly anymore. And so I'm having to limit my access to the computer by not sitting up too long because of the pain. Slowly but surely, my healing is coming better, but now it turns my insurance company is strong-arming me and telling me that they're no longer going to be paying for my physical therapy, so now I'm having to cover it at $90 a pop.
And figuring it out on your own about what works and what
Yeah,
doesn't.
hopefully using some of that money for the GoFundMe to help me recover.
Yeah.
I want to try to get to the point where I can go out and start signing books and be able to fly again and get around.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. It's just very slow in coming right now.
Yeah.
And the weather's warming up, so I'm able to do some swimming, and that's helping.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was reading your accounts on that. You're talking about how you were able to experiment with some hydrotherapy yourself and find that really worked for.
Yeah, YouTube's a great source for that. I go up on YouTube and I catch all the hydrotherapy exercises I ever can need and use. I just have to go over it with my real therapist to make sure that the stuff I'm doing is going to be safe for me to do. So I'll just show him a YouTube video and say, hey, is that safe for me to do? And he says, yeah, you should do that. I says, okay, it's on my list.
So there's another good use for the net is YouTube videos on whatever's wrong with you.
I take my iPhone down by the pool and sit in the shade and go through some of the YouTube hydrotherapy videos, and then I go into the pool and I try them myself.
Do you search for particular issues?
No, I just write down hydrotherapy for spinal fusion surgery recovery, and it comes up with a lot of listings.
Interesting. Wow. That's something that the hospitals don't give you, but you can
Oh,
get
definitely not. I mean, they give you so little information, and what they don't tell you is when you go into surgery, it causes a lot of complications. One of the biggest and most dangerous complications is blood clots and pneumonia. And so I'm having to take a lot of these blood clot medications, which is very expensive, by the way, and it's not covered by the insurance company. See, the insurance company, they don't, you're going to read this in my article when I post it on Steemit, how the insurance company, well, yeah, they'll be willing to pay for your surgery, but they're going to do very little for your post-surgery recovery process. Because when you do surgery, you also have got to deal with possible pneumonia, blood clots, and also I'm having to purchase this thing called a Orthofix, Orthofix. Google it. It's this magnetic coil I wear around me, and it generates this magnetic energy, and the magnetic energy helps my bone heal where my bone makes contact with the metal structures that's holding me together.
Wow.
And that tends to deteriorate and go bad. And when I use this magnetic thing, the studies have shown that this gives me an 80% better recovery, because almost all the time, when you especially have a spinal surgery, more than likely you're going to have another one within 2 to 3 years, because the part above or below where you had that surgery is going to fail, and then you're going to have to go back and get that done.
Wow. Well, that's it. So that was Orthofix. That's interesting. The electromagnetics and healing. It's about time we see more devices.
Well,
along those lines.
they call it bone stimulation.
Yeah, bone stimulation. That's fascinating. Well, listen, we're going to get into another break, but if you have any more questions for John Draper, a.k.a.
I'll be
Captain
here.
Crunch, we'll be here. Give us a call, 831-479-1080, if you want to talk to the captain yourself.
Dr. Future Show. We'll be right back.
top ways to help out the San Lorenzo watershed.
Take chemicals to the waste disposal center. Don't flush medications down the toilet.
Be careful of walking on unstable ground next to the river to prevent erosion. Pick up after your pet and throw the waste in the trash.
Don't wash your car in the driveway. Instead, go to a car wash. Don't litter. Pick up your trash.
Get your car repaired to prevent oil leaks. Plant native trees to prevent erosion.
Remember to recycle. Brought to you by the San Lorenzo Valley Middle School Watershed Rangers, San Lorenzo Valley Water District, and the Coastal Watershed Council.
It's our San Lorenzo watershed. Protect it.
Recently on KSCO Presents Georgia.
Try to understand this. The more you attack me, try to shut me up, try to get me thrown off the air, try to stop my fighting for the very survival of my people, the white Europeans who gave us Western civilization and everything you enjoy in your life, I will not only double down, but I will triple down in my efforts to expose your utter stupidity and the mental disease you liberals suffer with. Try getting off your drugs, your booze, your dope, and maybe your brains will start working, because I hear common sense is making a comeback. I have found puddles deeper than you. I would slap you, but that would be animal abuse. Hey, never mess with a Southern woman. She'll rip your heart out, show it to you, and bake it in a pie. So as we say in the South, suck it up, Buttercup.
Don't miss Georgia, 2 to 4, Wednesdays and Fridays on KSCO.
Welcome back to the Dr. Future Show. We're talking to John Draper, a.k.a. Captain Crunch, about his life and times in politics and beyond, which is the name of his book, Beyond the Little Blue Box. Now, we have a couple questions come in. One is it true you saw a nuclear bomb exploding? Tell us about that.
That was in the summer of 1962. I was with my dad's friend. We were vacationing at Lake Mead, and then we were going boating and fishing, and then we had this old GMC truck, kind of made into a camper, and it was pulling the boat we had, and we were going about 50 miles down the road. We just came out of Las Vegas. We were going up 95. And we heard on the radio that they were going to be doing a nuclear test in the Nevada desert.
Yeah, that's one of the last years they were doing them, I believe.
That's right, yeah. And this was a Davy Crockett test. I found that out by going to the Atomic Testing Museum in Las Vegas and found the exact blast that it was.
We love that place. That place is an amazing
What
resource.
a museum. Yeah, son's from Las Vegas, so she...
So, yeah. So, I mean, the flash of light was like beyond anything that I could ever imagine.
Really? How did you get that close? I mean, how close were you?
Well, we were driving along the road, and they closed off the road, but we had already gone past the checkpoint. But we were going slower than the average flow of traffic, because remember, there was no speed limit in Nevada at the time, so people would usually hustle through at about like 90 miles an hour. But
Yeah, because it's out in the middle of the desert.
and we were pulling a boat, so we couldn't go that fast.
Yeah.
And so...
kind of slipped between the
So you're going about 40 or 50 while everybody
so
else
we were
is going
listening
90.
to the radio,
Yeah.
and the radio got a lot of static on it because the station was kind of weak. And then we saw the bright. Then I saw the bright flash. Well, we all did. And I was on the right-hand side of the car in the back seat, arm hanging out the window.
Yeah.
It was kind of hot. And then that flash came on, and the flash was just brighter than ever.
Wow.
I don't know how close I was. I had no idea.
What time of day was it?
Angel
This is
Peak
like,
was about 100 miles north of Nellis Air Force Base.
It's
That's
about
where
like
that's where the outdoor tests were back then.
It was just at sunrise. It was
Just at sunrise.
At or before sunrise.
Oh, so it was really bright then.
Yeah.
Now, is it true you can see kind of X-ray effects when?
Oh yeah, the light. You could just see the bones in your hands.
Really?
It was crazy bright.
You can see the bones in your hands?
It was that crazy bright, and then the flash, I could see like the wires, the fence wires. Smoke was coming off of them. I didn't understand what that phenomenon was, but it looked really strange. And it wasn't until like just 5 or 6 years ago I saw an article on atomic explosions, and they were talking about EMP, electromagnetic pulse, and that must have been what I saw, and that must have been why our car wouldn't start. The radio completely got zapped.
Really did stop driving? I mean, you had to pull over?
The entire ignition system was totally fried. We couldn't go anywhere.
Oh,
so we had to wait there for road service, and we eventually got it towed to a service place in somewhere near Reno. And we found out that pretty much the ignition was gone, the radio was gone. There wasn't anything left working electronically. But remember that this was a 6-volt system. The radio was tubes. 6 transistor radios were just then coming on the market scene. They came on the scene at around 1960, 1961. That's when they were really getting popular. And even those transistor radios were pretty robust. But this goes before ICs happened, and you know.
You think they would
have
have
survived?
survived?
I had a nasty burn in my arm afterwards.
Yes, I was going to ask you any health issues from that.
Other than the burn, not that I know of, except my eyes were I kind of lost a lot of my night vision after that.
Wow. How old were you?
I must have been about 18, 19. I was in my senior year of high school, I think.
Wow.
So I was on vacation, yeah. Of course, I had to have a cover-up for my parents. I told my parents that I fell asleep in the sun and got sun.
You couldn't tell them you got accidentally nuclear radiated?
Dare mention that to my parents.
Yeah.
I kept that a pretty close secret for like 20 years, man. I haven't talked to anybody about it.
What were you doing down at the lake?
Yeah. And the person...
Well, I was just on my way from one city to the next. And
yeah. Well, at least you had somebody to share this story with, right? You're traveling with you.
There's more gory details of it in the book, for sure.
That's right. This is one of the book stories that definitely recommend you checking out. Now, another question came in. Did you know Steve Wozniak before Steve Jobs?
I met them at the same time.
Yeah.
I got a call from my friend Groucho and UC Berkeley. He says, you got to meet this guy. His name is Steve Wozniak. He's here at the campus. You can visit him in his dorm. He's built a blue box and wants to know how to use it. And I kind of felt really suspicious. Of course, I didn't bring any of my equipment along. I just came along with totally nothing on me.
What made you so suspicious?
Anybody that wants me to meet with somebody that's built a blue box, I feel very suspicious.
Especially somebody who builds one and doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, and so I found out that his blue boxes were using a square wave instead of a
sine wave.
A sine wave, and so the square wave, when you send that over an audio line or over a phone line, that tends to get distorted. And so what happens is the equipment in the phone company doesn't recognize it as easy as, let's say, a sine wave, and it automatically gets indigestion.
Yes,
and bulks. And if you call too many times, you drop all these different trouble cards, and then you're going to attract a lot of attention.
Ma Bell security is on your butt.
Basically. So we tried about 15, 20 times. We finally able to get the Vatican on the line and hand the phone over to Steve and says, okay, here you go. Talk to the Pope, ask for the Pope. Let's get you the.
I know Steve Wozniak was like the ultimate phone cranker.
Right? He loved to
crank calls.
Dial a joke.
So I said, Steve, I'm not going to ask for the Pope. You're going to do that. I'm just going to get you to the switchboard of the Vatican. You go from there.
And then what happened?
Well, I got him on the switchboard. He talked to the person on the switchboard, argued, trying to get somebody there that speaks English, and asked to see if the Pope was there. Finally, some English-speaking clerk or person came on the line and says, we're sorry. And he said he was Henry Kissinger, right? And then the guy that came on the line and said, well, look, how can you be Henry Kissinger? He's in Asia right now. Or he was here just last week. Why would he call again? Oops.
Did
So he
Woz
never did get a chance to talk to the
did
folks.
Woz actually use accents? When he called people. See?
Yeah, he sometimes does. Yeah.
Oh, you think he's still doing that today?
I don't think he has time to do anything.
He's too busy telling these stories, I guess. What's your favorite story with Woz?
My favorite story was when Woz came back on his way to Berkeley from his place in Sunnyvale, and he was in the East Bay. His car broke down. He was at a payphone. He was with Jobs, and him and Jobs says, "Let's see if the blue box works." Jobs said that, but they didn't know how to use it from payphones back then, because back then payphones you couldn't dial direct long-distance 800 numbers from the payphone. You had to have an operator connect you. But when you send a 2600 hertz tone down the line to activate the trunk to use the blue box, that flashes the operator's switchboard, and lights start going on.
Yes.
And the operator came on the line, and Woz thought that the operator was on to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just at about that time, a cop pulls up.
Ooh.
And so he sort of like cop says, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And the cop says, and he was trying to hold this box behind his back. And
So he
hand it
didn't
to
see
the
him
cop.
in the phone booth.
So he didn't see him. The cop says, "What's that?" and he said, "Oh, that's my music synthesizer." The cop sitting there playing the buttons and stuff, and he says, "Sounds like it's out of tune." And he says, "Yeah, because I haven't calibrated it yet."
Good answer.
Came back, the cop handed it back to him and said, "A guy by the name of Moog beat you to it."
Ooh.
But this was before blue boxes were known. This was like long before the Esquire article came out. Very few people knew what the blue box could do, or even what they looked like.
Yes, that was the fateful article, the Esquire article. Where suddenly
The Esquire article was the one that just completely shook everybody out of the tree.
Yeah.
And
that was all about the blue box and phone freakers and that whole underground.
Yeah, once I saw that article came out, I was going to my computer class at City College.
Yeah.
And I went to my car, went to the 7-Eleven store, picked up the magazine, came back to my car and read it cover to cover, and I said to myself, "Well, that ends Phone Freak as we know it today."
There goes your privacy.
Yeah, we know then that was it. No more phone freaking.
And that's when you started getting more authorities paying attention to this stuff, right?
Well, I got rid of all my equipment immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, so you turned the page of your life, so to speak. Got into computers instead.
But that didn't help, because they still got on to me, because they had my voice recordings and stuff like that. So even though I'd already done it, even though I was really careful, it was basically Richard. He basically used his blue box to make some calls, and the phone company got onto him relatively quickly because his blue boxes weren't really accurate. Dropped a lot of trouble cards, and they busted him. And now I gave Richard my phone number. I says, "I will give you my phone number on one condition and one condition only, and that is that you remember it, and you never give it out to anybody else. You remember it."
Yeah.
And I asked him every time what my number was. He seemed to have remembered it. I said, "Fine." And then I find out later, after the cops raided his house, that he had my phone number in his address book and under Captain Crunch.
Oh.
It was an open and shut case
So
on
that
me.
was it on you. And then while in prison, that's when you first started to have back problems, right? When somebody broke your back?
Oh, that was later on. That was in
later?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. Well, listen, we've got about 15, 20
Yeah,
seconds
let's
left.
answer some questions.
Let's see.
Oh, we're way past that.
Yeah, we got to say goodbye
1
at this
minute,
point.
friend.
But
Tell everybody your website one more time.
What's the website, John? Beyond the Blue Box?
BeyondTheLittleBlueBox.com is the website for the book, and
the GoFundMe campaign?
GoFundMe-.com/crunch-medical-fund.
Yeah, just search
and we're
for
also on Facebook, so you want to search for Beyond the Little Blue Box on Facebook, or also Facebook.com/John Captain Crunch Draper.
All right, I'll just go to drfutureshow.com, and we have the links for all this stuff.
You got all those links, so enjoy visiting them, all right?
Yeah, all right, John. Well, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks,
Appreciate
John.
it.
Stay happy, stay
Good luck with
free.
your help. Stay free.
You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. This is the Dr. Future Show. And beautiful Santa Cruz. Thank you, Mrs. Future.
KSCO Santa Cruz.
Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone.
Attorney General Sessions has his say.
The suggestion that I participated in any collusion is an appalling and detestable lie.
The U.S. needs a new Afghan strategy.
Do you agree that we're not winning in Afghanistan?
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Dave Barrett.
I'd like to call the hearing to order, please.
5 days after fired FBI Director James Comey went before senators, the Attorney General did likewise. CBS's Steve Dorsey listened in on Capitol Hill.
You solemnly swear to tell the whole the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Testifying to the Senate Intelligence Committee, Attorney General Sessions denied allegations he acted inappropriately by meeting with Russia's ambassador while advising the Trump campaign.
Let me state this clearly, colleagues. I have never met with or had any conversation with any Russians or any foreign officials concerning any type of interference with any campaign or election in the United States.
Sessions also insisted his role in firing former FBI Director James Comey didn't violate his promise to recuse himself from the Russia investigation.
And why did Attorney General Sessions fire FBI Director James Comey last month?
I presented to the President my concerns and those of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein about the ongoing leadership issues at the FBI.
Let's turn now to CBS News Chief Washington Correspondent and Face the Nation host John Dickerson. And John, it seemed that Attorney General Jeff Sessions was very forceful when responding today to questions alleging collusion between the Trump campaign and the Russians.
Well, he was, in the sense that he was defending himself and his own honor in those. On the question of collusion, Jeff Sessions, about his own behavior, was quite forceful. On the question of obstruction, which centers around why James Comey was fired or whether the president has tried to interfere with the investigation by firing Comey or doing anything else, the Attorney General really didn't say much of anything, asserting a kind of preemptive executive privilege and saying that his conversations with the president are protected.
Before the Senate Armed Services Committee, the Defense Secretary said simply,
"We're not winning in Afghanistan right now."
Cameron McCormick with the highlights of this hearing.
What is the strategy?
I believe by mid-July, we'll be able to brief you in detail, sir.
A new strategy had been expected weeks ago, and Republican Senator John McCain expressed his frustration to Defense Secretary James Mattis.
It makes it hard for us to support you when we don't have a strategy.
We recognize the need for urgency, and your criticism is fair, sir.
The Trump administration is reportedly split over whether to send in more troops to Afghanistan, where commanders describe a stalemate despite more than 16 years of fighting. Cammie McCormick, CBS News, The Pentagon.
The Dow closed at a record 21,328 after a gain of 92. Now this.
A few years ago, my wife and I went shopping for amazing quality luxury bedding we could actually afford. And what did we find? Nothing. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen. Missy and I started Bull & Branch because we want you to be able to afford the best bedding in the world. By cutting out the middlemen and only selling online at bullandbranch.com, our award-winning sheets cost less than half of designer brands and are twice the quality. Every set is crafted from 100% organic cotton. They get softer and softer over time. That's why we have thousands of 5-star reviews, and even 3 U.S. presidents have Bull & Branch sheets. There's no risk. Try them for 30 nights. If you don't love them, send them back for a full refund. Go to bullandbranch.com today for $50 off your first set of sheets, plus free shipping when you use promo code SLEEP. That's $50 off plus free shipping right now at bullandbranch.com. Promo code SLEEP. bullandbranch.com spelled B-O-L-L and branch.com. Promo code SLEEP.
He's free.
At the President's direction, the Department of State has secured the release of Otto Warmbier from North Korea.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Warmbier sentenced to 15 years at hard labor for anti-state actions. And though he's been released, Warmbier may be in a coma. Jonathan Pollocks, a Korea expert at the Brookings Institution.
He seems to be in a very bad medical state. There have been obviously efforts over a period of time to get him released. The North Koreans have been remarkably uncooperative about all of this.
Stateside manhunt in Georgia, about 75 miles southeast of Atlanta. On a prison transfer bus, 2 inmates overpowered, 2 correctional officers. They were shot dead with their own weapons. Putnam County Sheriff Howard Sills says he's been at that crime scene.
I have their blood on my shoes.
Suspects Ricky Dubose and Donnie Russell Rowe were seen in a stolen Honda Civic heading west on Georgia Highway 16. You're listening to the CBS World News Roundup.
I have failed at very few things. I'm afraid.
Marcus Lemonis.
I didn't come here to give you a rose. I came here to give you a reality check. You guys are essentially out of business right now.
The Turnaround King is back.
You're a powerful man, and that is not an easy thing to work with. I think you're going to be surprised. The risk is high, but if it works, the payoff is huge.
I want to thank y'all because my life is riding on this.
Thank you so much. Let's go to work.
The Prophet, all new tonight at 10. CNBC. Get yours.
This is Charles Husband. Olivet Nazarene University believes that an education unlocks a person's potential. They believe an educated person has a positive impact on his or her community. They believe that education is not something to be contained, but imparted to the world. They believe in you. Learn more at graduate.olivet.edu. Olivet Nazarene University. From where you are to where you will be.
At the Bill Cosby sexual assault trial in suburban Philadelphia, CBS's Matt Piper.
Now in day 2 of deliberations, jurors have been deciding the fate of Bill Cosby for 13 hours. At odds is the accusation that Cosby drugged and molested Andrea Constand, which his attorneys say was consensual. The jury so far has had 4 questions and has needed some testimony read back to them. The 6-day trial moved quicker than initially expected. The deliberations seemingly quite the opposite behind closed doors.
Sexual harassment, discrimination allegations, and more. That's at Uber, where the CEO, Travis Kalanick, will take a leave of absence. Still, says Yahoo Finance reporter Daniel Roberts,
the average person on the street, I don't think cares at all about these Uber corporate scandals. All they care about is the product. They want to get a ride. Can they get a ride? They can. They know it works.
Time on the roundup is 7 minutes past the hour.
This is Charles Husband. Olivet Nazarene University believes that an education unlocks a person's potential. They believe an educated person has a positive impact on his or her community. They believe that education is not something to be contained, but imparted to the world. They believe in you. Learn more at graduate.olivet.edu. Olivet Nazarene University. From where you are to where you will be.
Wouldn't it be great if you could stop crime before it happens? With the Ring Floodlight Cam, you can. I'm Jamie Siminoff, inventor and founder of Ring. Floodlight Cam is a motion-activated HD security camera that connects right to your phone, so you're alerted when anyone steps onto your property. You can now see, speak, or even sound an alarm right from your phone, anywhere, anytime. Does your floodlight prevent crime? Ours does. Go to ring.com/advantage and save $150 off of a Ring of Security kit. That's ring.com/advantage.
Summer's officially here a week from tomorrow.
I'm working on my time.
Tough to do if you're a redhead or fair-skinned.
Working on